Hello lovelies, welcome back once again to my channel. So in today's video we'll be making use of our pattern paper because of the alteration of the neckline and also for the back. So before starting our measurement, I marked out about 2 inches before going ahead to insert our measurement. You will see later in the video the reason for marking out these 2 inches. So from that line I marked out my bust measurement and then my half length. I'm going to go ahead and extend this line so that you guys can see it well. So my bust point is 6 inches and my half length is 12 inches. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to mark half of my shoulder measurement, even though we are not going to be using it later in the video, but we're going to change it. Then I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided by 4, and then my half length measurement divided by 4. That's my waist measurement, and I'm not adding my allowance for this. I'm going to add it when we want to transfer it to our fabric. So we are not marking our shoulder slope as well. Remember, we are going to do some alteration at that shoulder area. That's why we are not inserting all these measurements on it. So I just went ahead to connect my armhole. So the reason for this marking of the 2 inches is because I want us to fold this upper side as bold as I can, as bold as you can, so that we can pass our rope through it. So that's the reason for it. So at my shoulder line, I'm going to go in by 2 inches and then I'm going to connect it to my bust line. So this is our new armhole measurement. I'm just cancelling the other one so that we don't get confused on the way. Then I'm going to go ahead and extend this line upward to the starting point, and that's basically for the front bodice, right? Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So I'm just transferring this front bodice to the another pattern paper. We are not going to start marking any other one. We're just going to use it to mark our back. And for the back, I'm going up by 4 inches from the waistline. Then I'm going to go ahead and trace out the side of the front bodice at the other side. Instead of remarking, I just trace it out, and I'm going to connect the 4 inches I marked and then the length of where my half length started. Just look at the video, you understand what I am trying to say. Then because of the opening at the back, I'm going at the waistline. I went in by 1.5 inches, and then at the upper side I went in by 2 inches, though I remarked the down one to make it 1 inch, and then the up one to make it the up one will still remain 2 inches. So I will have 1 and then 2 inches at the upper side. So I'm just labeling it so I will know which side which side is which, so I don't make mistake to add the other one at any side. So this is up and this is down. Sorry, it's supposed to be D and not B. Then I have my center and then my side piece. You can go ahead and label yours as well. So for this upper part, I decided to reduce it to have about 1 inch there, because I want it by the time I fold it is not at the my neckline as in trying to shock someone. So it's going to go down like cutting 1 inch away from the neckline, just like you want to cut your neckline. Hope you understand this. That's why I reduced it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my allowance ½ inch all around, but at my seam side I am adding 1.5 inches for that. You can add as low as 1 inch, or you can as well leave it and add ½ inch as well, depending on who you are making or how you work. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. The next thing I did is also to mark out the back bodice, the allowances. I added 1.5 inches, and then every other side I added ½ inch as well. So going into the tutorial, I am sorry for the hair that you can see. I have a friend come over to work with my machine. That's why you have it. Sorry for the distraction. So in the first thing I did is to make my back bodice. To duplicate it, I'm going to be using one to turn the other one. So that's why I duplicated it. And I also leave my pattern paper there because I do not want to mix up the side of the of the pattern. Then for my front bodice, I'm going to go ahead and then open this up, and I have a fabric bias that I cut out to turn in my armhole. You can as well use your lining to do this, but for me, I am using my fabric bias because of the kind of fabric I am using. So I'm going to go ahead the same way you see me pin this down. That's how you are going to stitch it down. It's for the purpose of this video, so you go ahead and stitch it down, then turn it over to the wrong side. Okay, the first stitching is on the right side. Turn it over to the wrong side and then fold it in once and then fold it in again, and I'll do this to the other armhole. And this is the fabric I am using for my rope. You know, the rope that passed through the neck to the back. So this is what I am going to be using, and this is how to fold it. Fold the first one and then fold the two side in without stitching it down. Then for the loop at the back, I'm also using this the same way I folded this for the first one. I'm going to go ahead and fold this like as well. Then going into the back one, I'm going to go ahead, like I said earlier, to use one to turn the other one. So I'm just going to first to attach this loop before turning it. So I'm cutting out about 2 inches for each side, for each loop, just like you see me do. Please go ahead and do the same. This is about 2 inches. I don't think it's more than, I didn't measure it though, but I think it's 2 inches. So I'm going to place this the way I am placing it, inward my fabric and not outward. I'll go ahead and then pin this down to keep it in place, and I will do the same thing to other side. I think I have about 3 inches, 3 loops there at each side of the back. So I have about 3 inch. I have three loops at the each side of the back. I have this, and then the second and the third one. Just like I did the first one, I'm going to go ahead and do the other ones. I want to use this opportunity to thank all my subscribers, the old and the new ones. Thank you all for all your support. I really appreciate it. So this loop, we place it at the right side. Remember, the right side of the fabric. And I'm going to use the one fabric to cover it, also right side facing the right side. And then I'm going to stitch from the one side to the other. In fact, I'm stitching all around. The only place that is open is our seam side. I hope you get this. I know when I showed you guys, I did not show you that you're going to turn the downside of it, but you're going to stitch all around. The only place that will be open is your seam side. I'm just cutting out the excess at the edge of the fabric so that by the time I turn it, there will be no bulge there. So I'm going to turn it. You see, the only place that is open is the seam side. That's the side going towards your side, towards your armpit. So I'm just gonna ahead to turn it inside out. You see the way it's looking, the loop is inside, there's no rough edge is showing on it. So that's the essence of putting it inward before stitching. So this is it after I was done, and this is my front body. I've gone ahead to turn in the neckline. The next thing I'm going to do is to hem this, and then at the upper part, remember we are folding as bold as possible so that we can pass our rope through it. So this is the fabric I'm be using for my gathers, and I have, you know, is one is long, the second one is short. So this is for the short one, and for the length of this I have about 15 inches, right? I can't remember, I think it's 15 inches, and then for this I have about 20 inches, so it's 5 inches different from one another. And remember, what you are marking, you have to add allowance for joining and then for hemming. And then also for the I marked for the width depending on how much fabric or how full you want it. So I have two of it. That's one for the front and then the other one for the back skirt. So one of it, I'm going to go ahead and work on one of it. So the first thing I did is to place one on top of the other. I'm going to run a loose stitch on it and then gather it, and also hem the two pieces. So we are gathering one of it, that's the front part. Then for this back, this is the back, I placed my fabric, the small one on the short one on the long one, and then I cut out this fabric I'm going to be using to pipe the waistline. So I just placed it at the front part. Please place this at the wrong part. It's supposed to be at the wrong part. While making this video, I place it at the wrong, this right side, but you are supposed to place it at the wrong side, then fold it to meet, to come out at the wrong right side. I hope you understand this. I'm going to show you guys what I mean later. So this is the other one. I am done gathering it to the my front waistline, the measurement of my front waistline, and I'm going to go ahead and use this fabric bias just like we did at the back part to also turn the waist. And you're going to do it from the back to the front and not from the front to the waist. I'm going to show you guys afterward. So this is what I meant. If you turn it from the back to the front, you see how the waistline is. But if you turn it from the back to the front to the back, it's not going to come out nice. So this is also the back one. I'm going to go ahead and add an elastic to it. Then this elastic is my back measurement. That's your waist measurement divided by 2. You can remove about 1 inch or 2 inches. Remember now, this 1 or 2 inches, and depending on how tight or free you want it to be. So I just added the passed it through the back skirt. So this is the front one. There is no elastic on it. Remember, it's just gather. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my front bodice, just like I am showing you. So you're going to place the skirt in front of the bodice and then stitch it down. Don't mind the excess. I'm going to trim it off afterward. I think I added more allowance to it that I needed. So this is for the back. You see it has elastic. The reason for this elastic is because this gown is going to be having skirts. It's not going to have zip. That's why we added the elastic, so that it can pass through the waist and also the hip and or the head or wherever you want to wear it from. That's the reason for adding this elastic. So I'm going to go ahead, just like we attached the front one, I'm going to go ahead and then stitch the skirt on top of this back piece. So this I'm just stitching at about 1/2 inch. I'm not stitching as the whole through the whole back body. So if you do that, you're going to defeat the essence of adding that elastic. So just stitch at about 1/2 inch or 1 inch on the back body. So this is the front and this is the back. You can see it's just about 1/2 or 1 inch that I stitched down on. You don't want to go all the way through. So I'm going to drag this to stitch at the one side and then all the way to the hem area, and then I'll drag it to the other side and then stitch it to the other, from the armhole area to the hem area. So this is it after stitching the 2 seam side. I'm just trying to wear it to the manicure so that you guys can see. I've already passed my pin through on the rope. I'm just passing it through the hole that we made, the plate there at the upper side. Remember that. So I'll just pass it and then make sure I have the rope being equal to each other. It being equal, that's what I just checked to make sure that it's equal. Then I'm going to pass it through the neckline and then I'll turn it for you guys to see how we are doing it. So I'm just removing the pin so that we can go ahead to start lacing this. So I'm going to go ahead and lace it. This lacing does not have any formula. Just do it as you want. But for me, I'm going to be using a crisscross. That's what they call it, right? So I'm just passing it from one side to the other just to get a crossing kind of effect. And this manicure is smaller than the fabric and than the measurement, so that's why it's like it. But don't worry, I'm going to show you guys how it's going to look when the person that has this measurement puts it on. So you can see there is no zip there, and the elastic will do the work of a zipper. That is going to open up the waist for you or for it to enter. So by the time the owner wears it, he's going to take out all the necessary space, and this is how it's going to be. See the elastic, just cover it up. This is how it's going to be when the person wears it. And let me turn to the front side so that you can see. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.